Hey everyone, 4EverAnnswering Studios here. Welcome back to another episode of Forever Answering Your Questions. Now, if you're new to this channel or new to this series, basically is a Q&A series I do here on the channel where each week or at least each episode I try my best to answer every single question you guys leave for me in the comments relating to Lego Star Wars, or mock related questions. And again, each week I do my best to answer each and every one of them. Now, in the past it has been a weekly Q&A series I've done on the channel, and I haven't been doing the best at it. I'm going to point out that I missed last week, and I think I missed the week before that. I do apologize for that because of the fact that stuff gets busy, especially around this time frame. You know, Thanksgiving was a few weeks ago, and Christmas is coming up. So what I've thought about deciding is I'm going to be making it a bi-weekly series instead of a weekly series because of the fact that it kind of makes it a little easier on me, and I'm not stressing out, oh snap, I have to get this episode out this exact week. So I'm going to be changing it to bi-weekly. I hope you all are fine with that, and hopefully it doesn't mess with any schedule and whatnot. So with that all being said, let's get on to today's first question. The question of the day comes from Chief Tarful. He asked, did you like The Mandalorian if you saw it? Also, would you build something from The Mandalorian? Of course, yes, I have seen The Mandalorian. I've been keeping up with all the episodes, especially the most recent one, episode 5, I believe it was. And I've been really loving the series. I'm really liking what Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni have been doing for the series, and overall the character of The Mandalorian. I do want to quickly point out possible spoilers. If you haven't watched that, maybe skip ahead a couple seconds. But I do really like the character development of The Mandalorian. It's really cool to see him like in action and whatnot, as well as I'm very curious as to see why he likes or why he has this interest in the Baby Yoda. So I'm very interested in seeing what that, and I'm really enjoying the actual story. It's got a good story. Now, with that being said, would I ever build something from The Mandalorian? And the answer is yes. I'm actually currently working on something. Nothing actually physically built or anything like that, but I do want to quickly point out that I actually bought, not really bought, but I have at least half of the parts to build my friend Jalen or RichboyJhaes Razor Crest. Now, if you haven't seen the vehicle that he did, I highly recommend it. I'll leave a link in the description, but he did a fantastic job on the Mandalorian ship, and well, he gave me the instructions. I've got most of the parts to build it. I still need to buy a few things, and once I actually buy the parts, I'll be building that. So once I actually have the Razor Crest built, I'm planning on doing some kind of scene. I haven't figured out whether or not I want to do kind of a hangar or just landed, whatnot. So still thinking about that, but I definitely want to build something from the Mandalorian just because it's such a cool series, and why not build something from that? So that is a yes. I will be building something at least in the near future. Next question from Chandler L. He asked, do you think sets are allowed in mocks or no? I think they are. Now, this is kind of a topic that most people disagree or agree on. I guess most of these questions are, but basically, do I like sets in mocks? Me personally, now, if you put sets in mocks, that's your own opinion. It is your own creation, so you know, do what you think is best and do what you like. Now, with that being said, I prefer not to put sets in mocks. I try to at least stray away from that. If I can build a custom model and use that instead of a Lego set, I will always choose that choice, because of the fact that I believe it looks a lot nicer. The build looks so much, a lot more accurate than the actual Lego set. Now, with being said, there are a couple sets that fit in the category that they do look nice. In my opinion, the most recent X-Wings have been really on par. So if you're going to use that X-Wing instead of a custom, I think that's fine because it looks fantastic. I like the designs of the recent ones, and honestly, I think they'd be fine in a mock with ships and whatnot. Now, there are some sets that I just don't think they should belong in mocks, like battle packs, for instance. I don't like seeing battle packs in mocks. If you do, that's your choice again, but in my opinion, I just don't really care for that. Smaller sets, again, it depends on what you're putting in it. If it's something that just looks kind of off-putting, then I'm going to say no. If it's a nicer looking ship, like I said, like the X-Wing or some of the recent larger sets, I think that's fine. But in my opinion, I'm going to say no. I prefer custom models, but if you don't want to build a custom model and you actually have a nice looking set to put it in, I just say use the set. Next question comes from Brickscape. He has a couple questions for me to answer. He says, Answer all, none, some, or one. He asked, what is the best piece for a Star Wars mock builder to stock up on? What is the easiest Star Wars planet to build? And what is your favorite Clone Wars era ship? So the first question to answer to that is what is the best Lego piece to use for mock builders, or at least Star Wars mock builders? I think this is something that's answered most of the time, but I'm going to say the 2x2 light bluish gray tile, or I guess it could be dark bluish gray tile. Those things most builders use a lot of. I know personally a few of my friends and myself, I use a lot of those, and I see most of buying most of those than any other parts. I end up buying more and more of those because of the fact that I use them so frequently that I kind of run out of them, and then I have to restock up. So I guess those 2x2 light bluish gray tiles are like the #1 item, I guess. I guess any other tiles in light bluish gray or dark bluish gray probably are going to be on that list because, again, they're very useful and very common to build up in your collection, and something that you're more apt to, build up in your collection or just continually buy. Now, with that being said, a piece that I use a lot is, of course, the 1x2 plate, whether it be light gray, dark gray, any other earthly color like brown, green, dark tan, whatever. Those I also use quite frequently, and I buy at least a reasonable amount. I think I buy like 100 each just to kind of build up my stock when I'm running low on those. So I guess the 1x2 plates and I guess any light bluish gray or dark bluish gray tiles, those are very useful to mock builders. And at least that's, in my opinion, I use those a lot. Now for your next question, what is the easiest planet to build in Star Wars? I guess I'm taking a diss at myself because the easiest, in my opinion, is Hoth. Now, with that being said, for those of you guys who don't know, I did a large-scale battle of Hoth. Hoth is the #1 planet that most people build because, for one, it is an iconic battle from Star Wars. It's one of the biggest battles in Star Wars canonicity, and of course, it's one of the fandom's favorite battles. So, of course, most people are going to be building Hoth, and so it is quite frequently seen. And it is the easiest because of the fact that it's just kind of a white landscape, as well as maybe you can throw in a walker, maybe you can throw in a couple snow speeders. It is very easy to build, but the hard part about it is you kind of, at least in my experience, it's difficult to kind of stray away from everyone so it doesn't look identical to each other. That's the hardest part, is like when you're building a mock, yeah, you can make a lot of similarities to each other, but I don't like being it's not really copying or anything like that, but I like kind of straying away and doing my own thing because of the fact that, again, I don't want to be known as, oh, snap, you copied that, or these are the same techniques, whatnot. And I like, I don't mind using similar techniques, but if I can, I like making difference and kind of making certain things. Like, for instance, the battleground or the layout of the battlefield, I really like that because of the fact that I used a mixture of tiles, plates, and slopes and whatnot. Most people will use just plain tiles to kind of give it that sleek look, and it looks nice, but I just wanted to do something different, as well as I did something different with a trench. So Hoth is the easiest planet to do, but it is difficult to kind of like make it your own and not really copy every single one of them. Now, other than Hoth, I guess maybe Scarif or even Tatooine would be the second easiest, because Scarif is another one of those planets that, oh snap, this giant rebellion versus Empire battle. It's super cool, and understandably one of the cooler battles in Star Wars recently. So that, I guess, is another planet that's probably easy to build because it's just water, sand, and grass. Oh, and a couple trees. So those two are probably the easiest ones to do, but again, it's kind of difficult to kind of stray away from, not making identical things to each other. So it's interesting to do those planets, but giving it your own taste. Now, for his last question, what is my favorite Star Wars ship? I'm gonna have to say my top 3 would have to be the ARC 170 at #1, the Republic gunship for #2, and the the Rebellion X-wing. Those 3 ships are probably my favorite. They have been my favorite for the longest time. With the ARC 170, I just think it looks like a fantastic ship. It is a fun to play as, like in other video games and whatnot, and it's a really cool ship in my opinion. Now for the gunship, of course, it's the gunship. I think that's most people's, at least some people's favorites when it comes to vehicles, just because it's super cool to pick up or drop off a bunch of clones, and the ship design, of course, it looks fantastic in my opinion. Now for X-Wing, X-Wings are just something that I've always loved because, you know, I grew up watching, I rewatched a bunch of the originals when I was younger, and I always loved the idea of flying in an X-Wing. I love doing it in, like, Battlefront and whatnot, as well as, just playing around with an X-Wing is just super fun in my opinion, and the ship just looks fantastic in my own opinion at least. So, with that being said, I hope that answers your few questions right there. And the final question of the day, of course, comes from Imperial Bricks Productions. She asks, what LEGO sets do you want for Christmas? Now, this is actually a good timing because Christmas is in, I think, exactly 2 weeks from recording or whatnot. And this is going to shock some people, but I didn't really ask for much Legos for Christmas. I think I only asked for a couple sets. And for the reason for it, not just because, oh, well, I don't want Legos for Christmas. Basically, if there's a set that I really want, I'll just go out and buy it myself because, you know, I do have a job. If there's just something that I really want to get and I don't want to, you know, wait for Christmas or whatnot, as sad as it is, I will just go out and buy it for myself. Now, with that being said, there are a few sets I would like to get for Christmas. Like, for instance, I think the #1 set currently on my list is the most recent Kylo Ren Command Shuttle, the upgraded one for Rise of Skywalker. I'm really wanting to get that at some point because the ship looks much better than the original one. I have the original one from The Force Awakens, and comparing the two, the newer one is definitely far superior. So that is something I would like to get. I would also like to get some of the, I guess, Far From Home sets. I've been trying to collect my up the most recent Marvel, I guess, MCU series. I completed Infinity War, Black Panther, Endgame, and a few others. So I've been trying to complete like all the series, and Far From Home, I guess, is on that next list. So with that being said, I do look forward to Christmas. I probably won't be making another one of these episodes until after Christmas. So I hope you all enjoyed. If you did, definitely smash that like button, as well as let me know in the comment section below if you're continuing to like the series, as well as if you have any questions relating to Lego Star Wars, or mock related questions. Leave them down in the comment section below, and I will get to them in the next episode. So with that being said, if you're new to this channel, definitely subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.